over the Meadowlands. We talked about the second leg of that pick four. The third leg is what comes after the second. It's an hours of $8,500 pace. More horses lining up here, more being 8. And Charlie, give us that juicy price that you see here.
Okay, so it looked like the top 3 logical horses in this race is going to be 3, 4, and the number 8 into this race. I would kind of lean more to number 3 as my top pick in the race because he's more of a front runner, and Calvin B and Santiago Style, they're both more of a closing horses at the last moment. So I'm thinking maybe if Jimmy Rome can get to the front, set some nice fractions, that he could probably steal it based off of that last race of when he finished third, 151-2.
I know, Rod, you agree with that to an extent in this race.
Yeah, I do. I'm using all 3 of those plus the 7. So the 3 all black stride. Like Charlie said, this is the front end horse. He's in good form right now. He seems to be coming into his own since shipping over. This horse, he's kind of a hit or miss type. I thought he was getting a little bit of unnecessary play last week, moving back to the big track, and he raced well, I thought, in that race. What are you doing? So I'm going to use him because there's not a lot of early speed here. The 4, Calvin B, I throw him on race first over last week. Not really a winning type, but this horse fits in this class, and I think you have to respect his chances in here, especially since he draws halfway inside. The 7, Mr. Truth, I throw this one on. This is another speed horse. Eric Abatella jumps back on. 2 starts back, he drove this horse and just was caught in a bad spot. I actually used this horse last week, and he raced okay, but I think the driver switch back to Eric Abatella should be putting this horse in play once again, and he can get home with anything else in here. And then the 8, Santiago Style, I think is pretty obvious. The one negative is that he draws outside, and he's going to have to come from dead last. So 3, 4, 7, 8.
Mike, you're in a somewhat... Oh, hello. That's what I sound like.
What about the number 6 horse?
That's where I was getting to Mike, because Mike keys in on that.
No, I'm 4 deep, but Charlie, I do like the 6 quite a bit. I thought the horse had really no chance last time, was misdriven, got the big track, and that was that race when Sam's Triple Crown kind of went to the front and never looked back. This horse has been facing better. That 26-4 kicker would play a lot better in this race, I think. I'm also going to use the 4 Calvin B just because I think he might be sitting on a win a little bit. I mean, he won 7 times last year. It's just, he moves inside, and that's another thing. I just don't want him to beat me. The 7 I'm definitely using. No chance last time. Gets Abatello back. Has a chance to be in the top 2 early. And then the 8, Santiago Style. Really no prayer from where he was completely airborne and lost to a perfect trip repeater. That came right up the rail. Pantaleano is driving very well, I think, at the Meadowlands. And he's stuck there, which is not due, especially against these guys. He's a definite use here. So 4, 6, 7, and 8.
I got 6. I got 8. Those 2 I agree with. I love Inspector Clouseau over here. The horse makes a lot of sense. Of course, that's why I use Santiago Style. We talked a lot about this one. The 1 horse, quite literally, is also another one I use, and of course you guys don't use for some reason. But I like the fact that this guy, Dolroar, the 1, drops down in class. Look back, February 8th, Yonkers. First over, going against an hours of 10,000, wins there's the favorite, and has seemed to be outclassed in his last couple of starts. Tried to come from off the pace over Pocono. Last horse, I think, to do that was Lazarus after he dropped dead halfway through the race. And that said, maybe this Dolroar could come screeching home. That was terrible. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I do like the 1 in this 10th race. It's a possible price. I'm 168. That third leg, the Meadowlands pick 4. I got a wagging finger that won't stop. All right, so this last leg, since no one else has anything to add to that, is the 11th, because it's the fourth leg of the sequence. Now there's $5,000 in the last 5 pace, purse of $8,500 on the line. We got more horses lining up, more horses being exactly 9 in the nightcap tomorrow evening at the Meadowlands. Charlie, first things first, who are we watching out for?
Let's see. I would say I would have to probably go with JoJo's Love. $12,500 claimer. I guess he's kind of moving up in class since this condition is kind of more per se a $15,000 claimer. But I mean, I kind of like with the way that Victor Kirby drives at the Meadowlands. So he's one of the logical contenders in this race. But the horse that I believe is dangerous in this race is number 1, Perfectly Close. If you look at his races at the Meadowlands at the beginning of the year in January, he always ran right into the money with Corey Callahan.
Someone with a xylophone?
Yes.
Xylophone? Anyone?
I agree with the one, Perfectly Close. I love this horse in this race. Coming from Yonkers, I think this horse, he does well at the Meadowlands. He did win there last year. This horse with the rail, Eric Abatello, this is a big drop in class actually for this horse. Those non-winners at 6 to 8s over at Yonkers are very, very tough. And this is not really a horse that is good over at Yonkers per se, because he doesn't have a lot of early gate speed. I think the big track is going to suit this horse very well, and this is a perfect spot for this horse to rebound and get back into form and win at an okay price. And then I'm also going to use the 2, Spaghetti Eddie. This one last week raced first over. The week before raced first over. The week before was first over, parked the entire mile. You get the trend. He just needs a trip. He draws inside. Hopefully he gets one. He should make the front and probably let somebody go. If not, this is going to set up for the 1. But I think these 2 horses, they kind of stood out a little bit to me in this race. And like I said, the 1 is my key player in here. So 1-2.
Spaghetti Eddie, what a dumb name. Mike, you're 4 deep. You're the deepest of all of us in this leg. How so?
4 deep. No 1 for me. I don't know. I get it, but I'll let that one beat me, I think. Using the 2, though, Spaghetti Eddie, like Rod said, terrible trips the last 3, has done okay at this level. Just facing better ones, and draws perfect again. The 4, Joe, was very consistent, always right in the money, claimed and stepped for a 20% barn. That horse is a must-use. And then I like 2 horses that came out of that rather swell race last time. The 6, Fearless Leader, who, if you look back March 17th, that was a giant race first up. Just kept coming as the favorite. Then last time, really no shot from where he was. Still was 2-1, keeps McCarthy. I think this horse is a must-use. We'll be, I think, get a little bit of a better setup here. And then the 7, rocking with the best. 2 wide trips in a row, wanted Freehold to win. Last time was outside and could only manage 3rd in that race. Very consistent, has won 2 out of the last 4, has been facing decent ones. This horse gets Marone, and I like that also. A little bit of a setup here. Some of these horses inside like to go. I feel like this horse could get a covered trip. I'm going to use that one. 2, 4, 6, 7.
I'm pretty conservative in this last leg because I'm too deep. Spaghetti Eddie's the one horse that really stood out to me because Rod talked about crap trips. I mean, good horse most of the time, at least if they don't totally drop dead. Aside from that, I also use the 5 Drunken Terror. This horse has been racing very well in the 12-5 claiming ranks. Going first over, on the lead, second over, third over, whatever. He's usually in contention somehow. He now moves in for an optional tag worth more than the tag he was going for. So technically a move up in class draw as well here too. Lot seems to be working for him in his favor. And it could potentially be decent value. So 2-5 for me in that last leg. That was very tough. That was a Rod. Do you know how timing works? That was it had it over me as I was talking, and I was the last one. Rod, I'm gonna have to take out both of my fists, and then I'll have to draw your face closer to them, so that way it's not me punching you as much as it is your face encountering my fists. It does not feel reliable, and so.
I have no idea what's going on.
I said that was headshot. He was talking about punching me in the face, so I said
headshot.
Ooh.
Rod, what's your pick for today?
My pick 4 is 489 with 129 with 3478 with 12. It's $24.
Mikey Mike.
Okay, mine is 49 with 1268 with 4678 with 2467 64 for 50 cents. I'll be playing that.
And my ticket for 50 cents, 4689 with 156 with 168 with 25. That's $36 for 50 cents. I don't know if Charlie, you threw together a ticket by chance. If you say
Not yet. I'll tweet one out tomorrow.
All right, keep an eye out. That's at @triple_Charlie B. It's 3 underscores, right?
I believe. I don't really know myself.